everyone, Daniel here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a preview for the Sensational She-Hulk #1. This is a new Marvel book. Let's take a look at the creative team before we get into this new series. This series is written by Rainbow Rowell with art by Andres Genolet, D. Confi on colors, letters by Joe Caramagna, and a cover by Jen Bartel. So here we are. We have a new Hulk book. Same writer as the previous run, so this will probably continue. Marvel likes to reset every once in a while the series and just do a little bit of things that are different, but kind of relaunch things to kind of give hype to a new character. So in this book, the Sensational She-Hulk is back. Jen Walters is dusting off her adjective and kicking off a new era. The best hero slash lawyer in the Marvel Universe is going to remind you why she's so sensational, going up against her deadliest challenge yet. Plus, Marvel Studios She-Hulk series writer Jessica Gao makes her debut in a short story with the Jade Giant. So that'll be in the back of the book. Now, I don't have any preview art for that story in the back, but I'm very excited for a new She-Hulk book. Although I am behind, I think this is a good entry point. Things. The first few pages, from what I can see in the preview, really kind of catch you up. So let's take a look at some of the preview art here. And I think that we do have, with a new artist and a new art team, it does reflect the change into a new series. I always appreciate when the books tell me exactly who I'm supposed to be following. So we have She-Hulk, we have Jack of Spades, we are Jack of Hearts. Sorry, we also have Carcass and Ransack, who I thought he was just Carcass in the name backwards, but it's not. And of course, we have a few of the She-Hulk's friends that also show up. So yeah, I mean, I'll definitely check this out. I'm a big fan of Jack of Hearts and a lot of these characters, and of course She-Hulk. So I'll definitely always check out a new She-Hulk book, specifically when we have a little nice backup story. So, are you caught up on this series? Let me know. Let me know what you think about this series. If you're caught up on the previous version, and let us know if it's a good jumping on point if you do read this. So, if you have read this book, let us know what you thought about it down in the comments. Hello everyone, Daniel here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a preview for Spine-tingling Spider-Man #1. This is a new book from Marvel Comics. A couple of weeks ago, we saw that Marvel collected the Spine-tingling series from the Marvel Unlimited app into one single issue, the zero issue for this. So I think that was setting up what's going on in this book. But let's take a look at the creative team here. This is written by Saladin Ahmed with art by Juan Ferreira and letters by Joe Caramagna. I'm a big fan of Ferreira's art, so definitely looking forward to this. I haven't read the zero issue, so I think I'll be reading both of these because that one was like 80 pages long and it was about $10. But I know you can also read it on the Marvel Unlimited app because it's one of those infinite comics that was kind of collected. So in this book, after a fight with Spider-Side, Spider-Man gets taken on the most frightening ride of his life as he finds himself in the most terrifying haunted house possible. Who took Peter's powers? Who took Peter's friends and family? Who stands the best chance at taking Spider-Man down permanently? Wow, what an incredible premise. I don't know who this Spider-Side character is. I thought it was somebody from the little dark web art, but I don't think that's what it is. Kerpar, I think it's just Peter Parker backwards. I thought that's what it was, but it looks like it's not. Let's take a look at some of the preview art here. I don't have a lot, but we do have this really cool spread. I think this is catching us up on the previous fight that mentioned in the premise. But then, as we see here, Ferrari's art is so dynamic and so stylized. It really fits the Spider-Man aesthetic, I think. So I'm very excited to check this out. Saladin Ahmed, I think, writes some really cool stuff, especially when it comes to some of the more not dark and gritty, but more serious stories. I think he's very good at that. So very excited to check this out. And I do wonder because this has the logo for this has the old '90s Spider-Man cartoon um, logo. So I don't know if that has anything to do with that, or they just picked the old cool, the cool Spider-Man logo from back in the day. So hello everyone, Daniel here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a preview for Crypt of Shadows number 1, 2023. This is a very important distinction because Marvel is just calling these books Crypt of Shadows, these little anthologies that could they come out in the spooky time. So let's take a look at the creative team so we can talk about this book. So this book features 5 different stories. We have writers Al Ewing, Kevin Scott, Steve Orlando, Sarah Gailey, and Declan Shalvey, with a plethora of artists including Paul Davidson, Devmaya Priamikid, Paul Acaceta, Alex Lintz, and Edgar Messines with inks by Jonas Trinande. So yeah, we have quite a team here for these 5 stories. Now let's give you a quick description of this book. Reopening the crypt once more, as Hallows Eve draws nigh, the dust-covered slab that seals the crypt shut, blocking out the sun and casting it forever in shadow, has creaked open to let the darkness loose to prey on the Marvel Universe. Be they mercenary or mage, guided by law or rage, our heroes will face their terror and their best prey. Their spines are sturdy enough for the job, or the crypt may find them well on their own. So that sounds very spooky. So it looks like we have preview art for each of these stories. So let's kind of take a look. And the cover gave us a little bit of some of the characters we'll be seeing, including Deadpool, Daredevil, Scarlet Witch, the Hulk, maybe Werewolf by Night in the back, and of course, Man Thing. I don't know if this mummy looking character is an actual character or somebody that's just there for spooky sake. But let's take a look at some of the preview art here. And the here this character uh, at the front is coming back from the original book. Now I don't remember. It's been a long time since I read the previous Crypt of Shadows. So this is just kind of the framing device I think for these 5 stories. But as you can see, we have the Scarlet Witch. We also have a Deadpool story with the Mummy. So maybe that's where that kind of comes in. I really like how distinct the art is from each of these stories. We also have the Man Thing, as we saw there in the back, which looks to be in the same story as Daredevil, which is quite a quite a thing if you know that Daredevil, the man without fear, and Man Thing, his power is to imbue fear into his opponents by touch. So very interesting. And of course, we have the Hulk, and it looks like maybe Werewolf by Night, from what I can see. So interesting. Um, I'm very excited. I love these anthologies. I think they're a lot of fun. And of course, we are getting into the spooky time comics. Of course, this also leads to a lot of different variants, which you can see some at the end of the video. Hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a preview for The Invincible Iron Man, number 11. This is a new book from Marvel Comics. As part of the Fall of X, the event that we are following all throughout the X-Men line, but also includes The Invincible Iron Man because it's very well woven in there. Let's take a look at the creative team before we get into this book. This book is written by Gary Duggan with art by Andrea DeVito, colors by Brian Valenza, and letters by Joe Caramagna. In this issue, the honeymoon is over. Meet the new Hellfire Club. Iron Man and Emma Frost begin their whirlwind honeymoon and their takeover of the Hellfire Club. So I've really been enjoying Iron Man. I think it's probably one of my favorite runs. And a lot of it has to do with how closely it's tied to the X-Men line, which you guys know I love the X-Men. I also love the odd couple feel of Emma and Tony having to work together and pretend to be a couple, and even going as far as getting married. and putting up this facade for the Hellfire Club and for Orcas and to have everyone fold. But yeah, really excited about this one. Let's take a look at some of the preview art. I think Andrea DeVito just does some really cool designs for the characters. Some really fun shots here of the honeymoon, including somebody catching them. A little fan of Tony Stark, maybe. He loves peace. And I really like this new Iron Man suit that he had to redesign because he lost the trademark for all his old stuff. But you can't keep Tony down, right? And yeah, of course, Emma having to deal with all this, put up with a lot of stuff. Yeah, I'm very excited to see how this plays out. For some reason, the Hellfire Club has always all very interested me a lot. I think it's a really interesting concept, almost like the Illuminati, but like with worse people at the helm. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, really fun stuff. So hello everyone, Daniel here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a preview for Moon Knight number 28. This is a new book from Marvel Comics. This is the last days of Moon Knight. As you guys may or may not know, Marvel has announced that Moon Knight is going to die very soon. So this is kind of kicking that off. So let's take a look at the creative team before we get into this preview. This book is written by Jed MacKay with art by Federico Sabatini, Rachel Rosenberg, on colors and letters by Corey Petit. In this issue, the last days of Moon Knight and his allies race to intercept the Black Spectre before his apocalyptic schemes bear fruit, but the clock is ticking and a city hangs in the balance. It seems like the stakes are very high. I'm actually a little behind on this book, but I wanted to do a preview for this one because it feels like this is where things are really going to kick off. So wanted to kind of check that out to add a little bit of urgency to my read. So definitely after this, I'll be catching up on some Moon Knight. But I've been picking it up steadily. I think I'm about an arc behind. So yeah, I'm very excited for this. Let's take a look at some of the preview art. I think Sabatini does a really fun job with the designs, especially working with the capes. Moon Knight and the character designs that we have here, and of course when it comes to the fighting, I think Sabatini just has such a dynamic style, such a stylized version to his characters, and the pacing of the book really accelerates. As you can see here, I love these large panels with smaller panels all around them to like give you an idea of the motion of what's going on. And of course, we have Moon Knight and friends kicking ass because that's what you come to a Moon Knight book for. So very excited for this one. If you are caught up with the series, let me know how you're enjoying it. Jed MacKay, I think he's been pretty much like a no miss for me for a long time now at Marvel. So very excited to catch up on this and get ready for Moon Knight to die or whatever's going to happen there. So if you have read this book, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. There's some really cool variants this week, I think, for this book. You can see some of those at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. And as always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here on the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.